Some killers plan every move. They stalk. They torture. They never leave survivors. But sometimes, a victim fights back. A girl refuses to die. A woman escapes the monster. This is not just about murder. It's about survival. It's about people who lived through hell and came back to tell us what it looked like. They were kidnapped, beaten, left for dead, but they survived. This is escaped survivors of serial killers. True stories of those who stared death in the face and said no. Subscribe now to Unbelievable True Story, because these are the rare few who got away. Number 1. Mary Vincent. In September 1978, a 15-year-old girl named Mary Vincent stood alone on a California highway. She had run away from home. She was tired, scared, but determined to get to Los Angeles. She didn't have money. She didn't have a plan. So she did what many teens did back then. She stuck out her thumb and hoped for a ride. A blue van pulled over. The man behind the wheel looked like a normal dad. He said his name was Lawrence Singleton. He offered her a ride. Mary didn't want to get in, but she was tired. Her feet hurt. And he smiled kindly. So she climbed in. She had no idea. She was sitting beside a monster. At first, the ride was calm. They talked. He even offered her food. But something felt off. At one point, he missed a turn. Mary told him, "Hey, that's not the right way." He smiled. "It's a shortcut," he said. Her stomach dropped. That's when she knew. She was in danger. Later that night, Singleton parked the van near a cliff. He got out to check something in the back. Mary grabbed a sharp stick. She stepped out, ready to fight. But he caught her. He punched her hard in the head. Dragged her back inside. Tied her up. For hours, he tortured her. He raped her. And then? He made the decision to make sure she'd never tell. Singleton took out a hatchet. Mary begged him to stop. He didn't. He grabbed her left arm and chopped it off just below the elbow. She screamed in pain. He grabbed her right arm and cut that off too. She was bleeding fast, screaming, but still alive. He threw her down a 30-foot cliff into a dry creek bed. Then he left her to die. Mary should have died, but she didn't. She was still breathing. She was in shock, but she was alive. She did something no one expected. She took her arms, what was left of them, and pressed them into the dirt. She made mud packs to stop the bleeding. Then, she stood up. She walked. Mile after mile. Naked. Bleeding. In pain. With no hands, no help, and no shoes. She walked over 3 miles until she found a passing car. That car saved her life. Police found Singleton. Mary identified him immediately. He was charged with rape, kidnapping, attempted murder, mayhem. He was sentenced to just 14 years, the maximum at the time. He served only 8 years before being released. Yes, 8 years. Mary was heartbroken. Afraid. Angry. She told the world, "He's going to do it again." She was right. Years later, Singleton attacked again. He murdered another woman, Roxanne Hayes, a mother of 3. This time, he was given the death penalty. He died in prison in 2001. Mary didn't disappear. She became a fighter. She got prosthetic arms. She learned to paint, to walk, to live. And then? She began to speak out. She told her story in schools, courts, and on TV. She helped change California law to make sure criminals like Singleton couldn't get out so easily. Number 2. Lisa McVeigh. Lisa McVeigh was just 17 years old. She lived in Florida. She looked like a normal girl. Brown hair. Quiet smile. Worked hard. But behind the smile, she was hurting. Lisa didn't live with her parents. She lived with her grandma. And her grandma's boyfriend was a monster. Every night, Lisa was abused. She didn't tell anyone, because no one would listen. She thought she was worthless. She thought life had no meaning. One day, Lisa wrote a suicide note. She planned to end it all. She had no idea that something even worse was coming. Something that would change her life forever. It was late. Lisa worked at a donut shop, Krispy Kreme. She had just finished her shift. It was around 2 a.m. The streets were quiet. The air was heavy. She got on her bicycle to ride home. She passed empty buildings. Dark corners. Street lights flickering. That's when a car began to follow her. Slow. Silent. Creeping. The driver waited. Then, he struck. He slammed the car into her. Jumped out. Pulled a gun. And dragged her into the car. Lisa screamed. Kicked. Fought. But no one was there. No one saw. The man who took her was Bobby Joe Long. A man who had already killed 10 women. Lisa woke up inside a dark room. It smelled like sweat and fear. She was blindfolded, tied up, and cold. She couldn't move. She couldn't see. But she could hear his voice. Soft. Calm. He said she wasn't going to leave. Then he touched her. Then he hurt her. He raped her. Over and over. Hour after hour. She cried. She screamed. But no one came. Lisa thought, this is how I die. Lisa could have given up. She could have gone silent. But instead, she got smart. She began to talk to him. She made her voice soft. Careful. Kind. She told him he seemed like a good person. She said she understood him. She said, "You don't have to hurt me. You must be lonely. I won't tell anyone." Bobby Joe Long listened. Lisa even made up a story. That her father was sick. That she had to take care of him. She made herself a person. Not just a victim. It worked. The killer began to hesitate. After 26 hours in his house, Bobby Joe Long did something no one expected. He walked Lisa to his car. He said, "Don't look. Just get out." Then, he let her go. He dropped her on a street, a few blocks from her home. Still blindfolded. Still shaking. But alive. Lisa didn't wait. She ran. Straight to her grandma's house. Straight to the police. And then? She became the hero. Lisa didn't just survive. She remembered everything. Even blindfolded, she had. Noted the smell of the house. Counted the steps inside. Heard nearby train whistles. Felt the couch cushions. Memorized part of his license plate. She gave police everything they needed. And within days, Bobby Joe Long was arrested. He was charged with kidnapping, rape, murder, 10 victims, attempted murder. In court, Lisa stood tall. She told the jury what happened. She looked him in the eye. He showed no emotion. But the world listened. Lisa was no longer just a girl. She was a fighter. The judge gave Bobby Joe Long the death penalty. And on May 23, 2019, Lisa stood behind the glass and watched him die. The man who tried to kill her took his last breath. Lisa could have stayed in silence. She could have hidden her pain. But she did the opposite. She became a sheriff's deputy. She worked in the same city where she was kidnapped. She fought to protect other girls. She went to schools, spoke to students, saved lives. The same streets where she once rode scared on a bicycle. Now she drives with a badge and a purpose. Number 3, Kate Moyer. Kate Moyer was just 17 years old. She had a fight with her parents. She needed air. So, she walked to a friend's house. The sun had gone down. The streets were quiet. It was getting dark. Then, a car pulled up. A man and a woman were inside. They smiled. "You need a ride?" they asked. Kate thought they seemed normal. So, she said yes. She had no idea. She just stepped into a car with monsters. Inside the car, Kate felt strange. The man's name was David Birney. The woman was Catherine Birney. They looked like a normal couple. But they had a dark secret. They were serial killers. They had already kidnapped and murdered 4 women. And now, they had chosen Kate. David and Catherine took Kate to their home. It looked like a regular house. But inside? It was a prison. They dragged her into the bedroom, tied her down, stripped her, and David raped her while Catherine watched. Then they forced her to sleep in the same bed with them. The next day, they gave her new clothes and told her she would be killed soon. Kate knew. "If I don't escape today, I'm going to die." Kate didn't scream. She didn't cry. She watched. She waited. She thought. She began to talk to them, calmly. She acted like she wasn't scared. She asked Catherine questions. She tried to make herself seem human. She even made jokes. She studied the house, every room, every window, every door. She needed one chance. Just one. That morning, David left the house. Kate was alone with Catherine. Catherine took her to the living room. She left the room for just a second. That was Kate's moment. She jumped up, ran to the front door, tried to open it. It was locked. But she saw the keys on a nearby table. She grabbed them, shaking, heart racing. She opened the door. She ran, barefoot, dirty, in fear. She ran into the street. A man was driving by. She threw herself in front of his car. He slammed on the brakes. Kate screamed, "They're going to kill me. Please help." The man took her to the police station. At first, the police weren't sure. Kate looked messy. Her story sounded too wild. But she gave details. The house address. The car type. What the couple looked like. How many locks were on the front door. Even the number of steps inside. The police went to the house. Everything she said was true. David and Catherine Birney were arrested that night. Police searched the house. They found ropes, knives, blood, photos of other victims, a notebook of their plans. David confessed. He told them how they had picked up women from the street, raped them, tortured them, buried them in a secret forest. One of the victims was only 15 years old. Without Kate's escape, they would have killed again. In court, David and Catherine smiled. They showed no guilt, no sadness, No remorse. The judge gave them for life sentences. No chance of parole. Catherine cried, but only when David was sent away. She missed him. Not the victims. Kate sat in the courtroom. She watched them leave. She stayed strong. Kate Moyer didn't just escape that day. She rebuilt her life. She became a strong woman. A speaker. A fighter. She told her story all over Australia. She helped women stay safe. Helped others who faced trauma. She became a voice for those who didn't survive. Kate showed the world. You don't need to be strong to survive. You just need to be smart and never give up. Number 4, Rhonda Stapley. It was a normal day at the University of Utah. A young woman named Rhonda Stapley, just 21 years old, was walking to the bus stop. She had just finished a dentist appointment. She was tired. She wanted to get home fast. But the bus was late. Then, a Volkswagen Beetle pulled up beside her. A clean-cut man leaned out and said, "You look like you're in a hurry. Want a ride?" He smiled. He looked friendly. He wore a cast on his arm. Rhonda thought, he seemed safe. So she got in. She didn't know. She had just stepped into the car of Ted Bundy. Inside the car, Rhonda relaxed at first. They made small talk. He said he was a law student. Polite. Calm. Then, he missed the turn. She said, "That's not the way to my dorm." He smiled and said, "Don't worry, I just want to show you something." Rhonda started to feel nervous. But she didn't want to be rude. She stayed quiet. Until he drove into the woods. He stopped the car. The road was empty. No people. No help. Suddenly, his face changed. He hit her, hard. She fell back. Dizzy. Bleeding. Then he strangled her with her own pantyhose. She tried to scream, but no one heard. She couldn't breathe. She thought she was going to die. Then, blackness. Rhonda woke up on the ground. She was hurt. Her clothes were torn. Blood on her face. She could hear him. Moving around. Looking for something. That's when she knew she had a chance. She didn't wait. She didn't scream. She ran. She ran down the hill. Through bushes. Over rocks. Into the river. She hid under branches. Cold. Wet. Scared. But she stayed quiet. Ted Bundy looked for her. But he couldn't find her. After a long time. He gave up and drove away. Rhonda waited. And waited. Finally, she climbed up from the riverbank. Soaking wet. Barefoot. She walked miles to a road. A car stopped. A kind couple picked her up. She didn't tell them what happened. She didn't go to the police. She just wanted to forget. For over 30 years. Rhonda told no one. She never told her family. Not her friends. Not the police. She blamed herself. She felt ashamed. But then, she saw a documentary on TV. It was about Ted Bundy. She saw the same car. The same smile. The same cast. Her heart stopped. She realized. I escaped one of the worst serial killers in history. Rhonda finally decided to speak. She wrote a book. She gave interviews. She told the world her truth. She said, "It wasn't my fault. It was his. And I want other women to know they are not alone." She became a voice for survivors. She helped women feel safe again. She helped people believe in healing. Number 5, Charisma Carpenter. It was a warm summer night in 1991. Charisma Carpenter was 21 years old. She was with two friends, walking along the beach in San Diego. The moon was bright. The waves were soft. The air smelled like salt. They were laughing, talking, feeling safe. Then, a man appeared. He had a gun. He told them to lie down. He tied their hands. He ordered Charisma to stay with him. The man was her ex-boyfriend. And he had planned this night for a long time. Charisma once loved him. His name was Henry Hubbard Jr., a former U.S. Marine. Tall, strong, charming. But behind his smile, he was dangerous. He had followed her, watched her, planned this attack. He had a rape kit, rope, duct tape, gloves, a gun, and rage. He tied up all three friends. He made them kneel. Then he pointed the gun at one of Charisma's friends. He pulled the trigger. But the friend jumped at him. The gun went off, boom. A second friend fought back. A struggle began. Then Henry was shot. He ran away into the night, bleeding. Charisma called the police. Told them everything. The man who tried to kill them? He wasn't just her ex. He was a serial predator. He had already raped several women. He had attacked others. But she never knew. No one knew. Until that night. After the attack, Charisma was scared. She checked doors. She couldn't sleep. She had nightmares. But she still moved forward. She got cast in a show. You may know her from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. But behind the scenes, she carried a secret. She didn't talk about what happened. For years. In 2021, 30 years later, Charisma finally told the world. She spoke out about her attacker. She told her full story in interviews and letters. She became a voice for women survivors. A voice for those who were silenced. She said, "I survived something I thought would destroy me. But I'm still here. And I'm not afraid anymore." Charisma now fights for victims of abuse. Women who feel unheard. Justice for those who never got it. She uses her fame not for the spotlight, but to bring light to dark places. She is strong. She is brave. She is still standing.